Hey everybody, this is Brett, and tonight I would like to talk about something that's really serious, and it is called depression. And oftentimes people have anxiety as well, and I have definitely experienced these things over my healing throughout my entire life. But especially when I was cleansing heavy and hitting bottom and going through a lot of stuff. About 10 years ago, I was really going through a whole lot of that stuff. And basically, one of the things that hugely helped me was doing cleansing and enemas, because my blood was so toxic that I was just losing my freaking mind. My body was not able to eliminate enough of the toxic residue that was getting into my large intestine, and it was overloading my kidneys and my liver to the point of where my blood was really toxic with all kinds of chemicals and parasites and everything that was leaking out through my bowel and getting back into my blood. And so that was one of the very important things that I did about 10 years ago. But just before that, I was having such troubles that I went to my mother, I went to my family, and they said, well, you better go to the hospital. And so they took me to the hospital, and they admitted me into the psych ward, and I was there for 3 days. And I talked to a psychiatrist, and at the end they said, well, we would like to release you, but we're recommending that you go on to some drugs, some Zoloft, and that you see a psychiatrist regularly. And so I'm like, well, I'm just like, okay, I'll do it, And so I started on that, and after about a week, I'm like, oh, fuck this. I'm not going to go on these. I'm not going to go on these drugs, because I know that that's not the answer. And I searched, and I searched, and I searched, and I did find the answers. And another one of those answers was breath work. I started to do Indian breathwork ceremonies, American Indian breathwork ceremonies. And this was in the beginning at the Crystal Cocoon, which is a healing center in Ogden, Utah, a very important place in my healing 10 years ago. And Ann Waters is a wonderful person, and she facilitated some breathwork ceremonies with also being facilitated by this other woman that was also having these breathwork ceremonies at her house. And these American Indian breathwork ceremonies involved people laying on their backs, and I'm going to demonstrate that for you in just a moment, and taking in a whole lot of oxygen for an extended period of time, like 2 hours. And what that does is it super oxygenates your blood, and somehow it just opens you up emotionally. And when you open up emotionally and you get it out, you cry and you scream and you just release for long periods of time. I mean, you get a lot of work done. Oh my God, I had so much pain from growing up with an alcoholic father. It was just huge what I had in me, the chemicals that I was releasing from all that pain from him. And so I can tell you that just like parasites in your body, you have chemicals that were created by your mind. And Deepak Chopra talks about these chemicals that are created in your mind that are in your tissues, that need to be released, and your fourth chakra, your heart, your emotional center needs to heal. And also, hawthorn berry was a very instrumental herb in helping me to open up and release the pain that I had. And hawthorn is just renowned as the heart herb. So if you have any kind of a heartbreak issue, something in regards to your emotional, your feelings about things, then hawthorn is great. And so I also went to Al-Anon meetings, friends and family of alcoholics, and being able to talk with people and get out my stuff was really important, to be able to state your opinions. And, just like me doing these videos right now is so hugely important for my own healing. And so, and by the way, I do consultations. I do holistic consultations. And I'm just a massage therapist. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not a counselor. I'm not a doctor, etc. And so I cannot accept monetary anything for those services. But I do ask that people make a donation of $40 for each hour they'd like to talk with me on the phone to their favorite charity, and then to email me proof that they did make that payment recently, within the last week. And so if you'd like to do a consultation, then go to vitalitymassage.net and go to the holistic healing page, the consultations page, or just email me off YouTube and we'll arrange it, Skype or phone, whichever you like. So, yes, it is so important for you to heal emotionally. Healing is mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional. And you can't just do diet. You can't just do cleansing and regenerating with diet, because you probably also have things that you have to get out emotionally. Or you have to do some physical exercise, or you have to build your spirituality, etc., etc. So let me just show you briefly how the Indian breathwork ceremony was done. And by the way, that was facilitated by somebody that was there to be with me. And so, if you can find something like that to in your area to go to, it was $20 for me to do this 2-hour breathwork ceremony that was so healing, huge. And it was done in the dark. Everyone that was there was screaming or crying. One young woman had probably been raped because she was screaming, "Fuck you, da 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 da," as loud as she could. She was so angry. And then oftentimes you will be angry, and then you'll be sad, or you'll alternate, but whatever. It's all got to come out so that you can come back to the center. The center is God, and there is no polarity in the center. There's no polarity between left and right, yin and yang, male and female, Republican and Democrat. There is none of that. So, let me show you how it's done. Basically, we just laid on the floor, flat on our backs like this, and she had us start by taking in deep breaths through our nose. In India, anything breath work is pranayama. And there are a lot of different kinds of pranayama exercises, and the more extreme it is, the more it's important for you to have someone to be there with you to facilitate, to make sure that you're okay, because this is really, really radical stuff, especially when you're really pushing it like this. And pretty soon, your fingers get numb and tingly because the blood just gets to your extremities because your heart is pumping so hard. So, thank you for joining me, and let's watch this video again. It's hugely important. Bye.